friends. Tonight I'm answering a question which I thought was a pretty good question about North Carolina and about the area in North Carolina where I live. It comes from Allie D here. It says, "Hi Tony, I'm in Connecticut and I'm concerned about western North Carolina and tornadoes. What is it really like during hurricane season for Hickory, Morgantown?" It's Morganton. Morgantown's fine, you can call it that. Or Valdese. "I had originally wanted to live near the coast, but saw that Carolina Alley is over there. The Hurricane Alley, they call it in North Carolina. I love camping and living in the country suburbs. My current town population is about 18,000. Condo living is best for me. Can you advise? Thank you." I said the question is worth making a video response. Let me do that, and I'll send you the link soon. So I'm going to send Allie D that link. Excuse me, I'm choked up a bit tonight. So I'm going to go over to Google Maps right quick. And I'm going to show, this is Morganton, North Carolina, this little area right here. And I'm going to back out from that and show you more of North Carolina so you can see kind of what the layout is here of the state. And trying to get it to show me you can sort of real faintly see the lines. This is the far corner of North Carolina where Murphy is. This is the state line going up here. This is Tennessee over here. This is Virginia. Kind of wish it showed it a little bit better. But as you can see, the area where I live, Morganton, Hickory, Asheville, Lenoir, this is a great place to live. Statesville, up to Boone. This is what I call the foothills and the mountains region. I live sort of in the foothills. Grew up in the mountains, grew up in the very high mountains. It's harder to find a job up there than it is down here, at least it was back when I graduated from college. So the area where I'm originally from is sort of up here in the high mountains, a place called Mitchell County, and a place called Spruce Pine in Little Switzerland. That's where I was raised. But most of us, a lot of us, come down here into this area, which is foothills and sort of the northern part of what's called the Piedmont. Now, we're talking about two things, tornadoes, and we're talking about hurricanes. All this down here, you can see it's a good long distance inland, probably something like 250, 300 miles almost, 185, 90, depending on where the ocean is, which direction you go. North Carolina's a long state, so it's a long way out to this part of the ocean, not so far down here. That's why a lot of people from my area go to Myrtle Beach or Wilmington or whatever, that whole area right here, Southport, Ocala, Carolina Beach, North Myrtle Beach. These are all the places we go to the beach. And this is a very popular place for hurricanes to land. And when a hurricane lands, they have different categories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A Category 5 hurricane, if it's hitting the coast in this direction here, if it's going if it slams into you going northwest, then it can get up to inland, probably 150, 200 miles, and dump a lot of rain. Only one time since I've been living in this area up here where Hickory, Morganton, Lenoir, and everything is, only one time have we been severely impacted by a hurricane. And that was Hurricane Hugo back in, Lord, whatever year it was, 1989 or 90 or something like that. It was somewhere along in there. And Hurricane Hugo was a Category 5 that hit at just the right angle, went straight up inland. And when I say it hit us hard, I'm talking about 80-mile-an-hour winds, 90-mile-an-hour winds. It knocked a lot of trees over, dumped a lot of rain, did a good bit of damage, but didn't flood areas out or anything. It wasn't devastating like it is down at the coast when one hits hard. I would say that pretty much anywhere 150 or so miles inland here. Now we have Nikki and I have a home. Nikki is from this area down here, close to Lumberton, a place called Pembroke. And so they can get hit pretty hard. I mean, there's enough land mass here that this takes the brunt of it. 10, 15, 20, 30 miles inland. But a lot of water can get dumped, and it's low-lying lands here. This is called the coastal plain of North Carolina, and this can all get hit really hard, and it can flood a lot. And it can cause damage to your roof. I mean, it can do some pretty serious damage to your houses. Also, all this area that I'm kind of sweeping over here now, the coastal plain and the Piedmont, is susceptible to tornadoes. Now, we're not talking about Oklahoma type tornadoes or Midwest type things, Texas and all that. Once in a while they get bad. Once in a while you have a bad one, and sometimes there are fatalities down here in the coastal plain. And occasionally, I would say very occasionally, we have some in the foothills area. Mountains sort of deter tornadoes. I mean, you still have them. They're just the really big, strong ones generally form over areas of flat land. So we have like little ones once in a while. Typically in a summer, we might have in my area where I live, which is Valdese, North Carolina, sort of in the middle of all this. We get maybe 2 or 3 tornado warnings a year, 3 or 4, something like that. Very seldom do they ever really show up and touch down. We do get some high winds in the mountains now, and they can occur. A tornado can occur. Generally, they're smaller tornadoes. They take the tops out of some trees, maybe knock a tree or something over. I don't know. I'm trying to search my memory banks and remember if I ever have heard of a fatality from a tornado up here. So what I'm telling you, I guess, long story short here, is that hurricanes can hit. When they get to our area, typically it's a lot of rain. If you're in a low-lying area, if you live near a creek or someplace near a lake or something, and you live close to the water, then you could experience some flooding. Typically, though, we don't have much problem with flooding up here. It happens more over long periods of time when we have big storms coming in from the west and northwest. Don't really have bad winter weather, but we do have ice. I would say the number one weather concern of this area where I live, the area we're talking about now, the foothills of North Carolina, is ice. And usually we'll have, in my area, 3 or 4 good snowstorms a year. And by that I mean 6, 8, 10 inches maybe at a time. Very often 2 or 3 inches. But we have sometimes 3 or 4 times a year really good ice storms. And so it tends to be kind of freeze up here in this area. And that can cause limbs to break. That can cause a lot of car accidents. You have to just be really careful when they're predicting ice. And usually the weather people get it pretty right, and they'll give you a good warning about it. With really good news broadcasters out of Charlotte that cover our area up here. One called WBTV, WSOC Channel 9, Channel 36. They all three send reporters up here, and they'll report on our area because they know that it's big news when the ice storms hit. So I would say the number one thing to be concerned about from a weather point of view is ice, flooding if you live in low-lying areas, but it's very seldom caused by hurricanes. I would say tornadoes. I would say that as compared to the Charlotte area and south and east, all this down in here in this area I'm rolling over with my mouse, hopefully it's getting that. I'm pointing to the area, Charlotte and Fayetteville and all that. As far as that's concerned, we're probably 10% as likely to get tornadoes as these areas out here. These areas here, like I say, it's hot, it's flat, or it's rolling hills, and these are areas where vortexes of heat and cold air can slam together and cause funnels. And it does happen down this area. And forgive me for this. I am like totally messed up tonight. Have no idea where this little allergy type thing's coming. Maybe something Nikki's got over here. I'm sitting at Nikki's desk tonight. But anyway, folks, that is my little testimonial about the weather. And the only things you should probably be concerned about, like I say, are ice storms. Be careful in the winter. And it's very mild winters, those super mild winters. And yeah, this little triangle here that you see from Hickory to Lenoir to Morganton, Marion, all these little areas right in here, these are awesome places to live. And now you might see some comments when I post this video. There are a lot of people that don't want people to move to this area. They know we've got it made here, and I just mean that. But I am the kind of person that does promote the area where I live because I like to see influxes of good people from wherever in the country. come on and be part of where we are. And so like I say, I'll probably catch some slack. It's very few people that take that attitude, though. So if you ever see some negative comments, oh, it's horrible, tornadoes are terrible, there's hurricanes are awful, don't come here. That's somebody showing their butt that way. Okay, it's not true. We have no bad weather here except for, like I say, sometimes ice. And the ice can be bad. It can like put an inch and a half, inch of ice sometimes if you get a really bad storm. And that usually happens 2 or 3 times a winter. And usually it's handled really quickly and easily by our people here in the area that handle the roads and stuff. That's all I got to say tonight, folks. There's my simple answer. If you have any more questions about the area where I live, or Western North Carolina, or the mountains, like I say, I can tell you about stuff up in here's where I was raised. There's Little Switzerland. Got a star where the old home place was. I grew up in these high mountains here, close to the highest mountains in eastern United States. Right here, Mount Mitchell is the highest mountain east of the Mississippi River, and it's named after my great 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 granddad Elijah Mitchell. My mom's a Mitchell, so you can see we didn't fall too far from the tree, at least on that side of the family. Peace to all who watch. Subscribe to the channel if you like.